Today we're talking about gym mistakes, more specifically the kind of mistakes that are gonna keep you small. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Eli, I'm a fitness coach and personal trainer, and I've been lifting very consistently for around 6 years. And without further ado, here are the top 7 mistakes holding you back from building your dream physique. Mistake number 1, routine hopping. This is when you're constantly switching up your fitness routine every couple of weeks. I remember I had this phase when I was 9 years old where I got really into musical instruments, and my parents got me an electric keyboard, a ukulele, a set of bongos, a guitar, what have you, right? And I wanted to get good at all of them. So each week I'd practice a new instrument. I'd do the piano one week, ukulele next week, bongos next week, you get the idea. And by the time I'd rotate back to the piano, I was terrible at it again. Whereas if I just stuck with one instrument from the time I was 9 till now, I'd be extremely good at playing that instrument. And I probably would have been a lot richer than I am now. But what you gotta understand is this is how a lot of people treat their routines in the gym. And there's a bunch of reasons why people do this. Some people feel like switching up their routine all the time prevents their workouts from getting stale. Some people genuinely believe they can confuse their muscles into growing by changing everything. And some people are just overthinkers and they're trying to always look for the next best routine. But the general consensus is people tend to have a tough time sticking with one thing for a very long time. But you might be wondering, why is routine hopping even bad? And that's because your body is going to respond very well to repetition. When you spend time with the same movements for a long period of time, you build confidence with those movements, you get better at them, you build
neural connections
with those movements, you get stronger with those movements, and then you get bigger. I would recommend sticking with the same routine for at least 8 to 12 weeks. Just stick with one thing. Mistake number 2, lack of intensity. I remember when I first started lifting, I refused to train as hard as possible, literally based on the fact that it hurt. Like, I'd start up a set, I'd get to that point where it starts kind of burning and you're kind of getting out of breath and feeling like, oh shit, this is real weight. And then I would just stop because I assumed that was the end of my rope. And that kept me small as hell for longer than I would like to admit. But there's 2 main reasons that people will fall into the trap of lack of intensity. Number 1 is because it genuinely does hurt and you need some level of a pain tolerance to get to that intense zone where you're hitting muscular failure or a few reps before. It's especially hard on things like leg exercises and biceps for some reason. It just hurts really bad. But another reason is people are often way too scared of fatigue. You know, they're so obsessed with fatigue management, which does in fact matter, but people overdo it. Like, they'll leave 3 to 4 reps in the tank every single set and wonder why they're not growing as fast as they could be. So here's what you should do instead so you can actually start training with some intensity. You want to try to take each set at least 3 reps before failure, if not 2, 1, or 0. I tend to always go 2 reps before failure, and then I take my last set to complete disturbing levels of failure. Some quick tips on how to actually hit failure without giving up on it. Allow yourself to breathe hard. Allow yourself to grunt. Close your eyes when it starts really hurting. I don't know why it helps, but it really does. And grit your teeth, bro. Like, just push through it. It's supposed to be hard and you're supposed to look kind of ugly when you do it. Mistake number 3, being scared of eating. More specifically, being scared of the calorie surplus. Look, the truth is, if you want to get big and you want to build muscle, you got to eat a lot of food. And I remember when I first started lifting, I lived this mistake. All I would eat was chicken, beef, and like water. You know, I wasn't having any carbs, I wasn't having any fats, and I was wondering why I couldn't build size. I was like 100 pounds and I was in a deficit. So why does this mistake plague a ton of people who are trying to get in great shape? Number 1 is just the fear of getting fat and gaining weight. It especially affects people who have been overweight in the past. Also, social media is filled with these really lean, aesthetic, shredded physiques, and people want to have that year round. But if you're in a beginner or intermediate stage, you should be in a calorie surplus. So here's the solution. Stop fearing food, get yourself into a 200 to 300 calorie surplus, try to get 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight in, and really prioritize getting good carbs in and eating carbs before your workouts. Mistake number 4, letting your form go to shit as you get stronger. I bet all of you can relate to this. Getting stronger in the gym and noticing that progress is probably one of the most invigorating and amazing feelings on the planet. You know, you're moving up in weight, you're getting bigger, you're feeling strong as shit, but there comes a phase in a lot of people's lifting careers where where they start sacrificing their form purely for the sake of saying they're lifting more weight. I remember doing this about a year into lifting. I think I could bench the 60-pound dumbbells for like sets of 12 with great form, full range of motion, great tempo, everything aligned and in place. And then 2 weeks later, I was benching with the 80-pound dumbbells and I was doing sets of 5 to 6 reps. But the problem was I was going halfway down. My shoulder blades were coming out of place. My ass was lifting up off the bench. My feet were flailing everywhere. In my head, I'm like, oh shit, dude, the fuck I'm doing the goddamn 80s. And I was so excited to keep moving up in weight that I literally sacrificed the more important variable, which was proper technique. Now, it's very easy to explain why this mistake happens to so many people, and it's just ego. And I don't mean that in a rude way. Everybody wants to lift heavier weights, and everybody wants to not only impress themselves, but impress other people in the gym. And once that damage is done and you kind of unlearn your good techniques as you go up in weight, it's very hard to return to that baseline good form because nobody wants to go down in weight and work on their technique. Like, nobody wants that feeling of regression, even though it's not regression, because you're never strong enough to lift that shit in the first place. You not only decrease the likelihood that you're targeting the right muscles, but your risk of injury goes way up because the execution of the exercise turns into this random momentum-based arm flailing mess of bullshit. The solution to this mistake is a concept called form standardization. I know it sounds like a bit of a mouthful. This is the concept of having a standard form for each exercise that stays the same even as you progress in weight. For example, let's say on dumbbell press, your form standardization might be legs are planted, you're getting a full range of motion, the shoulder blades are retracted, and no matter what, as you go up in weight, it has to stay that way or you're not gonna move up. Mistake number 5, shitty workout preparation. Now, I did this one for a while. I was such a loser at the time. You know, I was always staying up till 4 a.m. and eating whatever the hell I wanted, eating chips and Takis and random shit. I did not drink enough water and I was probably getting 3 to 4 hours of sleep per night maximum. And then once in a while, I'd get like 7 or 8 hours of sleep, get very hydrated, eat proper meals, and my workouts were like a billion times better. I felt so much stronger, so much more fulfilled after the gym, but I never really put 2 and 2 together that preparing for the workout mattered so much. Now, this mistake can hit people for various reasons. They either don't know, don't care, or can't help it for some reason. When you sleep like shit or have a pattern of sleeping like shit, your energy in the gym is gonna be way depleted. You know, you're not gonna feel very strong on your exercises. Your endurance in that workout is gonna be very limited. And if you're entering your workouts hungry and not fueling yourself up properly, your energy is also gonna be shot at the gym. Your endurance is gonna go down and you're gonna have a very hard time pushing yourself through tough exercises. And the same kind of goes for dehydration. If you're entering your workouts dehydrated, you're probably gonna feel fatigued, a little bit lightheaded, and you're gonna have a really hard time exerting yourself. But if you target those 3 variables and try to improve them, you're gonna notice a direct increase in your progress. Aim to get at least 6 hours of sleep. I always recommend 7 to 8, but at least 6. Make sure for those 1 to 3 hours leading up to your workout that you're hydrating pretty well, right? You don't have to drink a shitload of water, but just enough to actually feel hydrated. And then in terms of nutrition, you wanna be eating consistently throughout the day. You wanna aim to have a pre-workout meal probably an hour or an hour and a half before your workout that mostly consists of fast digesting carbs and a little bit of lean protein, like a turkey sandwich with a side of fruit and honey. Mistake number 5.5, not subscribing to my awesome YouTube channel. And if you click the bell, you'll be notified every single time I drop one of these valuable workout videos. And if you binge watch my content, you're gonna know everything you need to know about getting big and building your dream physique. Or you can pay me some real money and I'll coach you. Number 6, doing way too many sets and doing way too many exercises. We all know that one guy who hasn't made any gym progress in like 5 years, even though they always show up. It's usually because their routine looks something like this: 5 sets of bench press, 4 sets of incline dumbbell press, 4 sets of flat dumbbell press, 3 sets of incline chest flies, 3 sets of regular chest flies, 3 sets of decline bench, 5 sets of lateral raises, 5 sets of skull crusher, 3 sets of tricep pushdowns, 3 sets of tricep pushdowns with a different attachment. You get the idea. And this might sound like a joke. I did this personally for a while because I was under the impression that if you do 400 times the amount of exercises, you're gonna get 400 times the amount of results. It just doesn't work that way. What are the consequences of making this mistake? Well, number 1, you're just gonna unnecessarily fatigue your entire body. You're probably gonna get hurt and you're gonna make less progress. progress. Your energy is much better suited doing between like 3 to 8 good sets per week for each muscle group. And that's a range. It doesn't have to be 8, it doesn't have to be 3, right? Just somewhere in that range. For my workouts personally, when I saw the most results, I was doing 4 to 6 exercises per workout. I'll just run you through my push-pull leg split right now. So chest day, for example, I do 3 sets of bench press, 3 sets of incline dumbbell, 3 sets of chest flies. For triceps, I'll do 3 sets of skull crushers, 3 sets of tricep pushdown, and then I'll do 4 sets of lateral raises. That way, each muscle group is getting trained really hard, but it's not an overkill amount of volume. Mistake number 7, general inconsistency. Now, this is the worst mistake you could ever make if you're trying to build a good physique. Because if you don't have consistency, you really are not gonna grow. Before I hit my current 6-year hot streak of never missing a single week of workouts, I spent 1 to 2 years in the gym very inconsistently, and I saw very little results. I'd find excuses to take weeks and months off for no reason and try to pick it back up where I left off and wondered why my progress was like up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And after those 2 years, I had like nothing to show for it. So why does this happen, and why is it undoubtedly the worst mistake you can make in the gym? And it's because a lot of people just make pretty stupid excuses. And that doesn't mean that the excuses aren't valid. You might not have a lot of time in your day to hit the gym. You might be very tired after work. You might be extremely stressed and in a busy season of your life and you're drowning in these responsibilities. Maybe it's easy for you to justify saying, oh, I hit all my workouts last week. This week I can just kind of chill. But no matter how true, valid, or comforting these excuses are, does it change the fact that you're not gonna grow like you want to? It does not. But one consequence is your muscle gain is gonna be very choppy. There's not gonna be a linear growth pattern like there is if you never stop lifting. It's gonna be up, down, up, down, up, down. Over a long timeline, it might look like you haven't even gotten any bigger, which is just kind of a waste of time. Another huge negative, success in any format involves momentum. You stick with the right habits and you keep sticking with them till they're automatic and your growth is just compounding. You can't gain any momentum when you're inconsistent. The momentum's up and then it's down. And usually it ends up just going down forever at a certain point. So what you need to do is pick a routine that actually works with you and your busy schedule, and just commit to that goddamn workout split. Don't miss any workouts, don't make any weird excuses, just stick to it and you're gonna grow a lot. But before you click off this video and watch some other brain rot bullshit, click the description below, because not only am I giving you a done for you workout split that you can use till the end of time and get massive, but I'm also gonna give you my guide to getting in shape while you're busy as hell. It'll teach you how to fit fitness into your schedule easily so you can do nothing but make progress and still live the life that you want to live. All right, love you. Bye.